Federal Executive Council approves more road infrastructure projects.
It's the second phase of the Abuja-Kefi-Akwanga road, which was awarded in 2015.
And on Good Morning Nigeria today, we focus on electronic voting, plus significance of the Ramadan fast.
They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you and me. Know your neighbor. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me.
If you see something, say something. Nigeria unite against terrorism.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
You are still on to Good Morning Nigeria, and to kickstart our discussion on the Ramadan fast, let's take this background report by Musbao Dan Wahab.
Muslims all over the world have been waiting anxiously for another month of Ramadan, and when the new crescent beams to signal its arrival, we receive it with a sense of fulfillment and excitement. That's the usual spirit for this Allah's injunction.
Ramadan is prescribed upon all the believers, Muslims, the followers of the Prophet Muhammad, as it was prescribed upon those people before Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
It is an injunction so sacred to the faithful, primarily to observe the daily fast from dawn to dusk while the month lasts and feel the burden of the less privileged. But scholars say Ramadan fast goals are beyond abstinence from food and drinks. It is time for the Muslims to reflect on the essence of their being, humanity, and strengthen the bond of brotherhood.
The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that whoever fasts during the month of Ramadan perfectly will have his previous, his past sin forgiven. You make sure you go to where they are doing tafsir. That is how we are expected to fast during the Ramadan. Not only that, as sadaqah, out of your money, your food, your property, you give them out to give people who are in need.
Described as a month of total package of kindness of God, Malam Shehu Usman says the faithful must explore the benefits of the holy month through the recommended act in line with the practice of Prophet Muhammad.
The month of Ramadan is a month of prayer. I will call upon every Muslim in this country, even non-Muslim, that we should pray for our country, that we have to change all our bad behaviors to the good ones. We have to treat our neighbors in the manner that God had directed us.
Physical and spiritual preparations have been intense. Muslims are also shopping for the provisions required, while different species of dates are being patronized as the most recommended edible for breaking of fast.
It's a month of blessings, it's a month of great rewards, everything is multiplied, so one does look forward to that multiplication.
However, the aged, underage, the weak and those insane are exempted from the fasting. But those who have been longing for the special month of spiritual dedication are so fortunate to witness it. They are saying, Marhaban Ya Ramadan, welcome the month of Ramadan in which the Holy Quran was revealed.
All right, thank you very much, Musbah Dan Wahab, for that background report. Now, joining us are two guests in the studios here. First, we'd like to welcome Uztaz Abubakar Sadik Muhammad. It's a member of the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs. Uztaz Abubakar, pleasure to have you with us on the program.
Thank you.
And also here with us is the Chief Imam of Al-Hababiyya Mosque. That's Imam Fuad Adeyemi. Imam Fuad, pleasure that you are here with us on the program.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right, let's begin. We already had some things about the Ramadan fast from that background report. But let's go in a bit deeper. Is Ramadan the only fast on the Muslim calendar, year on year?
No, Ramadan is the obligatory fast, but there are other supererogatory fasts that you do either after every day or every Monday and Thursday. People fast, but Ramadan is the one that covers all. Is the obligatory that every Muslim who is able to fast, who is healthy, who is not on a journey, and if it's a woman, she is clean from her menses, that person must fast. Of course, there are laws governing that, and when you will repay the fast, or one who is aged and will fast with a lot of difficulty or will not be able to fast at all, then they are to feed indigent persons daily according to the number of the fast that
Now, what distinguishes Ramadan fast from other fasts in terms of a spiritual benefit, from Allah?
Once you abstain, the human anatomy is made in such a way that it needs break. So you are made to starve at some times for the benefit of the system itself. Fast generally will give you spiritual benefit, whereby you come closer to your maker, and it gives you benefit also in your own system because it cleanses. It's a complete overhaul of the system, and doctors are now speaking about this abstinence from food. Recently I read about a system that is called 2-5, that you abstain from food for 2 days, for some hours, and then you eat what you like for 5 days. That you will be healthier than any other person that is not practicing that. If you put that into the perspective of people who fast on Mondays and Thursdays, then it covers that issue of 2-5. Yes. 2-5.
All right, Uztaz, thank you very much. Let's bring in Imam Fuad. Now, Imam Fuad, speak some more on who is eligible to undertake the Ramadan fast, which is the obligatory fast.
Well, alhamdulillah, like our Uztaz has mentioned, fasting itself, I think we need to understand why God himself has asked us to fast. I think probably we'll be able to appreciate the essence of fasting now. When you have an equipment, you need to renew it while you use it. You have a car, at a certain time, it must be serviced unless it will be grounded. Your body must be clean at intervals unless you will hate yourself. The only thing you can use to clean your soul is fasting. No matter, there is no community in the world that does not know about fasting. The Jews, the Christians, the Zoroastrians, the Buddhists, all of them, the idea of the way they fast might be different, and the length and what they define as fasting may be different, but there is no group that they do. So what does that mean? What is the implication of that? So it means over the years, fasting is actually a natural thing in our system. And if anybody is avoiding it, I will not do, it means that person does not love his or herself. And if you also look at it, fasting is the only period where you are conscious of the beingness of the Supreme Being, no matter where you are coming from. You are conscious that wherever you are, God is monitoring what you are doing. That is why when you are fasting, you have your food in your home, you have your key, you can you can off the light and lock your door and eat, and you come out. Say, today's fasting is very hard, but you won't do that for one thing. You are sure that God is there if you do that. And the implication is you will now realize that people around you, whatever you do, God is watching. He knows, and all the time He's with you.
All right, thank you very much. You know, what are the preparations needed, especially by a Muslim, you know, to be able to get prepared, you know, for this kind of, 1 month fasting?
One, first and foremost, you have the fear of God that I want to do this thing for God. Then two, physically, you need to see your doctor. You need to see your doctor, be able to confirm that you are strong enough to fast or not. If your doctor says you can't fast, you cannot say because it's not a Muslim you are not fasting. No. If he tells you that you are not strong enough to fast, you must abandon it. And when fasting, after the end of the 30 days of fasting, like Uztaz said, you have to repay it back when the doctor has certified you fit that you cannot fast. Then we should look for the moon. Yes, many people will be asking, why are we physically looking for the moon? Science has confirmed one thing to us now, that you can say that the moon is coming out at a particular time. In fact, they say it will be born and it cannot be seen with naked eye. So the essence of that looking or searching for the moon is for actually for you to be psychologically prepared that something is actually coming, because it is a command from God. And why that moon is also important, and it's not that of solar, it's also important here, because if it were to be a solar system that we are following, for example, like Christmas is on the 25th of December, it means those who are celebrating Christmas, they have been condemned to be celebrating it during cold season. So you can't have it in another season. But fasting, because God knows the implication, God knows what you need. That is why it's using lunar and not solar. So it means when you look for the moon, if you are alive, you have the opportunity of fasting for like 10, 20 years in your life. A time will come, you'll be fasting during rainy season. A time will come that you'll be fasting during when the heat is at its peak. But if it were to be on solar, a particular group will have been condemned to fasting during rainy season. But anywhere, you will have it.
All right, Imam Fuad, thank you very much. Let's bring in again Uztaz Abubakar. In addition to abstinence, what else does Ramadan entail?
It entails unity of the Muslim Ummah. Throughout the world, we may have different time zones, and we may have hours between one part of the world and another, but there will be few hours that the entire world, the entire Muslim community is fasting. And of course, one will break earlier than the other, but the idea is we are all fasting, and this is the fasting season. Fasting also in Ramadan speaks or teaches us peaceful coexistence, because the verse that makes fasting obligatory on us tells us that, O you who believe, fasting has been prescribed on you as it was prescribed on those before you, the Jews and the Christians. Meaning you are a community of faith, but before you started fasting, another community was observing fast before you. So fasting has brought us together, reminds us of the fact that we are of God, and this instruction is coming from our Maker. Fasting also teaches us discipline and timing. When am I to start the fast? I'm looking at the time. It will not be a minute before or a minute after. That time is specific. When do I break the fast? I cannot break it ahead of the time. I have to wait for the time like any other person. That discipline is there of timing. It teaches us to be grateful to what God has given us, because we are directed to look at those that are below us so that we can assist them. That by coming to the aid of the indigent, we are also earning more reward for the fasting. In short, the Prophet said, if you feed a fasting Muslim, you will get your reward he will have his own. You will have another reward equal to his without diminishing anything from his own reward. So those who do not have will not go hungry, because everybody is vying with one another to see how many people will I be able to feed. In some parts of the country and the world, people are literally begging you, please come and eat with us. Somebody would create a canopy in front of their house and provide everything and be begging people he has not seen
in his life.
Please come and eat with us. So,
all right.
Yeah.
All right. I think every Muslim looks forward to this obligatory abstinence, once in a year, perhaps because of the spiritual benefits therein, one of which, from what we learned from one of the respondents in that report, is that there is the forgiveness of a previous sins. Could you expatiate on that?
Yes. It was said by the Prophet ﷺ himself that the first 10 days of fasting is forgiveness. The second is mercy, while the last 10 days it is emancipation. It will be unspeakable for somebody to fast for 30 days without his sins being forgiven, because most of the time, even when you want to break your fast, it is a time for you to ask Allah to forgive you, because it is also teaches us one thing, and that is sincere obedience to God. It is important you have to eat something in the early morning. And that is the time when most people find it difficult to take anything. When you are not hungry, they say you must eat something. Then when you are hungry, they said you must not take anything. That one pleases God, that this one follows me, he obeys me, then what he has done, I remove. I have what I call prerogative of mercy on him. So I forgive his sins because he's sincerely obedient. You can try it. Hardly can you find anybody that wake up around 3 a.m., 4 a.m. and say he wants to eat. It's very hard for you to see anybody around that style. It's not that none. We can get one or few people. But at a time around 2, 3, 4, 5, when you are seriously hungry, no matter the volume or type of food that you must have taken, around that time you'll be hungry.
Let me add, Imam, on the issue of forgiveness that he mentioned. We have, the Quran teaches that we have two angels, Raqib and Atid, with us, recording our good deeds and iniquities, our good deeds and our iniquities. But fasting, the angels cannot see the reward for fasting so that they may write it. Because God says, fasting is mine. Whatever the son of Adam does, the reward goes to him. But fasting is for me. He has done it for me, and I will give the reward for fasting. Whoever fasts, seeking Allah's countenance, not to be seen by men as I'm fasting, or to show off his devotedness to God. He does it seeking God's countenance, will be taken away from Allah's punishment, or from hell, or from a place that is not heaven, by 70 years or 70,000 years or so. So the forgiveness aspect is there. Fasting, seeking Allah's countenance, cleanses.
Are there differing obligations for men and women during Ramadan?
No, there are none, except that women has extra obligation.
Mainly?
And that is in preparing food.
Is it an obligation?
No, well, because they are the one who takes care of the house. But I always say that it is a time God is giving women extra opportunity to have extra reward. That's what I always tell people. This is a time that I envy women, because they fast the way men fast, they pray the way men praise, they wake up in the night to pray, and when their husbands are sleeping, they are already in the kitchen while they earn double reward. It is a time when women, they have so much opportunity that whatever they ask from God, God gives them. But we all have equal system of doing our fasting. We have equal rights, we have equal duties and responsibilities, but they have a little more that gives them a degree ahead.
In one or two words, let's talk on the charity aspect of this. How important is that?
It is even the main thing, because when you are fasting, you'll be able to understand the problem of those who are hungry. You'll be able to feel for them. You don't like you said, you don't need to wait for them to come to you, because you actually understand what they pass through. I've heard a big man in this country said he had never experienced hunger in his life. He said if not for fasting, he wouldn't have known that there is a time that people can say they are hungry. So you can see it was in the pages of newspaper that the man said it. So when you also give people that are fasting, you give them something, then your reward, like I said, is after 700.
I'm just on the basis of what you mentioned now. Let me ask Uztaz, can there be sympathetic fasting? I'll give you an example. Some persons will say, okay, they are not Muslims, but my Muslim brothers and sisters are having their Ramadan. I will also join them. Would the benefits also redound on such an individual?
If I know that I will invite them for iftar. They should come to my house and break the fast, because that is in line with what I mentioned of what fasting has taught us of peaceful coexistence. We recognize and accept that other communities, the Jews and the Christians, have fasted before us. So if a Christian fasts, he's not doing something new. He's not doing something Islamic. He's doing something that is enshrined also in his own
Let me also give a practical aspect to that. The Cardinal Nayeka came to the mosque that they were in our mosque, that he came together that he was fasting also that time. The American people, the ambassador, all of them, they come to the mosque. They give us money. In our mosque, we feed about 1,000 to 1,500 people every day during the month of Ramadan for the past 15 years. So these people came, all the staff of the U.S. Embassy, including the ambassador themselves, they sponsored the number of people that we fed that day, and they came to the mosque washing plates, serving food, and which shows that what is
All right, so let's take very quickly now the tweets coming in from our viewers on this. Mike Ayankwo has this tweet: Ramadan should be a period of sober reflection. It should also be a period of love, peace, and total reconciliation. People making trouble in the name of religion must desist from that, since every religion preaches peace, harmony, unity, and coexistence.
And from Sandy Michael Omokoji, while wishing our Muslim faithful happy Ramadan, I equally want to advise those governors who deliberately refuse to pay salary and provide good governance to their subjects not to participate in the ongoing Ramadan because they might fast in vain.
That's politics. Well, Aminu Haliru, Sadik Makomako is one of our regular contributors. Now, Aminu Haliru has this tweet. I wish to... Sorry, the imam is distracting me. Okay. Aminu Haliru has this tweet: I wish to use this platform to congratulate our brothers and sisters in Islam, to use the Ramadan period to pray for the peace and progress of our beloved country, Nigeria.
And Delajak Solomon, the whole point of the Ramadan is to demonstrate submission to God and keep the mind focused on spiritual plane. As our Muslim brothers and sisters deny their body food and water during this holy month, may God Almighty accept their prayers and supplications.
All right, those are the tweets that we have, and that's of course how we end the conversation today. We'd like to appreciate Imam Fuad Adeyemi, who is the Chief Imam Al Habibiyya Mosque here in the Federal Capital Territory. Thanks a lot for being on Good Morning
Thank you so much. We're very grateful.
And also would like to appreciate Uztaz Abubakar Sadik Mohammed, a member of the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
And then, of course, to our brothers and sisters, we'll say Ramadan Kareem. But before we go, let's take our complimentary segments, and we're going on to sports very quickly.